All right, like hanging dead, hanging dong, what? Like, are we calling the cops or like
rope? I've never
rope where? Around his neck, around his dick, like
neck.
Okay.
Definitely. Eyes rolled back, blue hand. I've never seen anything, so
I'm gonna be honest. If I thought it was a pinata that one of you guys set up.
It was so fucking. It was cool.
Answer me this, Kron. How many hits before you realized it wasn't a pinata?
We did.
How many do you think is? How many do you think is too many?
Honestly, one.
It was Kron's idea.
It was a lot more than that.
It was Kron's idea.
It was enough.
Really was.
It was enough to cause visible bruising.
Okay. Let's say this. After the first hit, are you going to go, oh, he's not a pinata. Maybe it's a real person. Do you go, oh, rigor mortis has come in and he's hardened. And then you hit him again. And then did you think, well, maybe he wrapped himself in phone books?
Whoa.
And then you like kept.
I thought you just did a good job.
It was my turn after Kron hit. He didn't get 2 hits.
So you guys alternated hits.
We traded the kendo stick each time.
Okay. Dan, you went from being a little mentally affected by this to now.
Oh, well, once we figured out it was a real body, that's when Dan got all.
Yeah, it's kind of, I freaked out a little bit.
So it wasn't an immediate, oh, that's a real body. It was an immediate, oh, that's a pinata? Hell yeah.
It's like, oh, it's a pinata. And then like, oh, Bones did a really good job with this pinata.
I said, I think that's a real guy. And Kron's like, no, that's gotta be a pinata. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. I have not brought a body by the store in a while. Okay. Certainly my bodies aren't usually together and they're usually lacking blood. So regardless, have you called anybody?
Well, we called you.
We
now
took
you're here.
Pictures and sent them to you. Yeah.
But you didn't call the cops or anything. You just called me.
No, you know we don't call the cops.
I don't want cops at the store.
Okay, so I gotta Winston Wolf this shit.
Yeah, just do your thing.
When did you become a conservative? We don't call the cops around here. What's wrong with you?
Listen, you can back the blue without wearing red. Okay.
Look,
so and just to be
hush
clear,
it down. Jerry's gonna write you up.
Just to be clear, Bones, it's not a pinata, right?
It's
because
not.
I'll go back there and whack it a few more times.
Wait. I don't want to say that it's not a pinata.
So it
because
is.
I haven't gone back there to see it. I'm just saying that if you're telling me that there's a body hanging and you hit it multiple times, it's probably not a pinata.
Look,
but what constitutes a pinata? Does it have to be paper mache with candy inside of it, or is it something that hangs and you hit? I don't know.
It's got a mask on.
It needs to have candy inside of it.
A hanging dead body is a cannibal pinata, right?
Well, yeah, I guess, but I really want there to be candy in it.
And Kron, you said, do your thing. Do you want me to fucking go eat that body?
Well, if it's really a body, not if it's full of good candy.
Have I ever? I don't eat. I got A. It's not that time of the month. B. I like them. I like a little sport. I don't.
Come on, dude. You be bailing out the store.
Come on, man.
We need you.
I'm so confused. Is it a pinata or is it?
All right, I think here's what we do. We all go back there. We hit it 15 or 16 times a piece. And if no candy comes out, we'll figure it out from there.
Well, we're going to hit it 15 times because it's going to be an equal number of hits. There's not going to be one person getting one extra hit.
I said 15 times each.
I know. You said. Okay, that's fair.
It could be really good paper mache.
We don't need to hit it 48 times.
It's a horrible sound when you hit it. It really is.
It sounds terrible.
It's really bad. We
but satisfying. Yeah.
It's not the worst day in the store ever.
Okay, so all right.
Look, I think a guy came in, David Carradine, all those movies.
Well, that's one possibility. Other possibility is it's a piñata full of Butterfingers and Snickers bars.
If there's no Reese's in it, I'm not.
There's definitely going to be Reese's in there.
The Butterfinger BB supply did seem to dwindle over the last few weeks.
All right. We'll grab the kendo stick. We'll all head back there. I will put a movie on in the store. So in case any people come in, they won't hear anything.
We wouldn't just lock the door.
I don't know.
How
long do you think it's going to take?
I opened this morning.
You would keep up. I mean, they could walk around and they could be listening to a movie and then hear 16 kendo swats each.
Well, we'll put the volume up. We'll crank the volume.
Yeah, but there's no way I'm not screaming on every swing.
I'm going to scream too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say this. First person to bust it open doesn't have to clean it up, then I'll play.
You're cleaning it.
I want some steaks. Why the fuck?
Well,
You
if you
called
bust
me
it
in to
open
help
and it's
you.
a real guy.
After the whole smoothie thing, you're cleaning it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had first smoothie.
Hey, if it's full of candy, we don't have to worry about the cleanup at all. Because we're all going to be scrounging around on that.
So much candy.
On that porn room floor, baby.
Okay. Well, I feel like I should get 5 like upfront hits to balance
Fair
it out because you guys
That's
got
fair.
some
That's
hits.
fair.
That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
All right. Let me
All right.
stretch. Put on a movie.
You grab the kendo stick. I'm popping in this movie because this week on 5-Day Rentals, it's Ricochet. Good evening, cowards. Welcome back to another episode of the 5-Day Rentals podcast. This is the video store podcast where each week we take turns picking a flick that we think meets a fun, non-genre specific category. This round's category, courtesy of Bones, is two-handers. Movies with, two people above the title. Why not? Previously, Bones, you brought a shakedown, a kind of team-up buddy cop thing. Dan, you brought us Wild at Heart, a fever dream rom-com. Guys, I'm closing this category out with Ricochet, your classic versus. I am Kron Howard. I will be your host, joined as always by my two, I didn't think of anything for this one. Lovely co-hosts, Bones and Dan. Say hello.
Oh, what a bummer that as the default is polite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally I come up with a good little insult to put in there.
I thought it was negative. I figured in your core. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Howdy.
They don't make them like this anymore, do they?
No. This is a forgotten time. I mean, I think this thing was direct to video. So
Really?
Did you see? You saw theatrical for this?
I got some research.
It's an HBO movie, isn't it?
Well, HBO. What, you don't think they have any power?
I don't think at that point they were putting their direct line stuff into cinemas.
Well, you produce this work of art. At the end of it, you go, "This is too fucking good."
It's
I
true.
got some research.
All right.
Kron, thank you so much for selecting a movie that was available on a streaming service that I pay for.
You know, it was about time. It was about time we got back to a service we all have, a movie we can put subtitles on easily.
And easily accessible for the 4 people that listen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think this thing lives on Max like year round. So whenever you're hearing this, it's probably available.
Maybe. Our luck.
Yeah, they'll take it down next week and the Blu-ray will come out from some boutique label and be $78.
Yep. It'd be like a phone book slipcover.
Oh, that'd be so good, dude. Guys, Ricochet, I know Bones has seen this. Dan, was this first time for you?
This is a first viewing for me. It's always been on my list, and then when we decided to start this show, I figured that this would definitely be coming, so I held back. And then once we learned about your sexual obsession with Lithgow, I was like, definitely, it's coming.
It's not
And
sexual.
So is Kron.
It's not sexual.
We don't know what you're doing.
I just think he's an extremely underrated actor.
Kron, I think you missed an ample opportunity to deflect the dog attraction and instead lean into the Lithgow.
I don't know why I have to be sexually attracted to some weird thing for this show to work.
You pick, okay?
Which
one
hot,
is it?
Hot women. That's what I'm into.
Two hots?
Yeah, they gotta look real good.
Hot women.
Sorry, Dan, I cut you off.
But yeah, that's all I was saying. I knew it was going to be a Kron pick, so I've held off till now. So it's in the books. I did it.
Hell yeah.
Twice. Hot.
I mean, it is a pretty good two-hander. I mean, if you're thinking versus, I think Face Off is what most people would go to. But I mean, you got Denzel there. How do you come up with an actor as good as him?
How many
pull
times
out John Lithgow?
Yeah.
How many times has Face Off came up as like a maybe while
Multiple
we're
times.
doing this show?
Yeah, I think it's always in the background.
Okay, because even with me, I'm like, is it time? Yeah.
But I also think that it gets a lot of reference and a lot of love. That still exists. So
I don't know if I have seen it since I seen it the first time.
Since you had that face surgery.
Maybe I have.
well, it was to put the face back on, to be fair.
Yeah.
He got it corrected. He realized his mistake. This was definitely a VHS watch for me when I was...
Yeah, it really sucked for when you just had your muscle and bone visible.
Yeah, you shouldn't have agreed to do it prior to finding another party that would switch for you. The fact that you had the face removed and then were just waiting.
I thought they would feel bad,
it,
you know?
Yeah, you should have done it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were trying to get somebody. You're trying to force
Trying to get
somebody
that
into it.
sympathy, Yeah. Opened a GoFundMe and
You
stuff.
had a maybe. Yeah.
A GoFundMe for a face-off.
You look like whenever Roddy Piper puts the glasses on. That's how you were walking around. Well, should we get into this thing?
Let's book, man.
All right, it's time for Ricochet from 1991, directed by Russell Mulcahy.
No,
Sorry, I
it's
thought you
not.
meant this. We got to do this.
It's time to rate your Letterboxd.
Oh, that's correct.
Currently on Letterboxd, this is sitting at a 3.3. Kron, going to call you out. You had this rated as a 3.
I did.
I believe that is too low. I believe you are at a 4.
Kron Howard. 4.5.
Wow. All right, listener, pay attention. We will figure out at the end of the episode what Kron rates this movie. Ricochet, 1991, directed by Russell Mulcahy. Our third Mulcahy on the 5-Day Rentals podcast. We have covered Highlander, and we have covered Resurrection.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Who knows how many Mulcahy's we'll end up with on this thing?
Good director, dude.
He's got a diverse filmography.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we open on Nick Stiles. This is Denzel Washington. He's engaged in a game of street basketball against Odessa, who's Ice-T. These guys are talking shit back and forth to one another. Eventually, Nick and his partner, Larry, they win the game. Odessa pays up. It looks like $40 or something. Tells Nick that he better hang on to that money. He won't be seeing too many dead presidents at his bullshit job.
Was Ice-T in Dead Presidents?
I don't know.
I don't recall. Chris Tucker is the one that's always surprising that he's in Dead Presidents, right?
I just remember the makeup.
Yeah.
Is
it the same kid from Menace to Society? Kevin Pollak returns as in a partner role, thing he's just wonderfully suited for.
Yeah, we've seen him in Hostage.
And End of Days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
As Odessa gets in his car, Nick looks over and sees that like the ignition is just a bunch of wires hanging out of it. He asks him if he's having car trouble. Odessa kind of ignores this. He's like, same time next week? Nick again glances at the ignition and says, I think our playing days might be over.
No Ice-T in Dead Presidents. Terrence Howard.
Okay. Was Chris Tucker in it? Am I crazy?
Chris Tucker.
Okay.
Keith David. Freddie Rodriguez. Clifton Powell.
Hell yeah.
Nick goes over to chat up this lady he's interested in. She's making a joke about his work shoes. He says, no way, these things are classics. Just like Moby Dick, which is the book she happens to be reading.
How does she know those aren't cop shoes?
They look just kind of like dress loafers.
Are cops still wearing those like to run in and shit? This is what, 91? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they hadn't gone full tactical 511 SWAT gear yet. You know, that used to be a once a year thing where people would.
They used to wear those baby blue short sleeve shirts around.
But I think after Nakatomi Plaza, they probably bumped more money into the LA SWAT team.
This lady asks if he's an English professor. He says no, he's studying law at UCLA. She says, well, that's too bad. The world doesn't need another lawyer. Says, my goal is to be the first black president. All I'm missing is my first lady. Larry pulls the car up. It's a cop car.
That's like a bullshit statement, though, right? Like,
it's
we
never
do
worked
need
for
more
me.
lawyers.
I mean,
what?
That line, it never worked for me.
That you want to be the first black president?
Yeah. All right, it worked once.
Have you ever used a pickup line? Like,
I don't know. No, I have not.
Well,
you guys?
You tried to use your guitar once to pick up a chick, and those technically have pickups, so.
Yeah, it didn't work, though.
You got close.
I usually just post up and put out the vibe, and the ladies come to me.
We've always been the guys that were like, just stand there. I don't know.
Yeah, I just assumed I was always going to be a stepdad, like a future stepdad. Like they'd come around when I was 40.
How did we all three get married if our strategy was just stand there?
Well, it was like, don't bother. Like, don't be the guy that is going to do the pickup line.
Yeah.
Like we were the opposite of that. Like, and they'll be like, oh, they'll see that we're quiet and calm, and they'll naturally come to us, but that never worked.
Yeah, we're more linebacker types. Like, we watch all that shit go down on the line. If we need to move back, we'll move back. You know, it might be an opportunity to blitz, but we might need to go back for pass coverage.
And we always got each other's backs.
Can't help it, dudes. It's Super Bowl week. I got the football fever now.
Did you watch the Super Bowl, Bones?
I did. And I am embarrassed to say that I stood up at one point.
And boredom?
No, I thought it was a good game.
God, it was so
That was a
boring.
good game.
Jill, we're happy you're safe.
Yes.
She was at the parade the other day, so
Shit.
thank goodness.
Let's see. Larry does pull the car up. It's a cop car. He says, come on, we're going to be late.
You were cheering for the Niners, though, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Me too.
I can't say that too loud, though.
Oh, I was cheering for the Niners.
Careful, dude. You live in Missouri.
I don't give a fuck.
This lady says you're a cop. Nick says, yeah, that's right. And you're parked illegally. Pulls out his ticket book, but when you know it, he just jots his number down on it. It's pretty good.
Did it still count as a ticket, though?
Yeah, I thought once they start writing the ticket, they got to give it.
I mean, he gave it to her, just had his number on it.
Oh, okay.
His number. Is that his?
You know, but like, or maybe that's the traffic cops that I'm thinking of. They always use that, like, I'm sorry, I started.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think you should be able to wrestle it away. And if you get it, you don't get the ticket.
Yeah, if you can knock it out of their hand before they finish.
You have to physically get the paper and wad it up.
I think they should have a little basket on the back of their little golf cart. And if you can grab it and run behind them and drop it in the basket,
you're out.
You're good. We didn't talk about Denzel and Ice-T's stunt doubles for the basketball scene.
Really?
No, 100%, dude.
Oh, I guess I didn't notice.
Yeah, they used some kinetic stuntman techniques, but it was definitely not Denzel. And there were certainly a few things where it looked like a dude in an Ice-T wig.
Why would you not do your own basketball stuff?
I mean,
Denzel was working out 6 days a week.
It's kind of a stunt, in a way.
It's probably like choreographed for the movie, like how everybody moves and everything.
That might knock this movie down for me.
I mean, Mulcahy's a pro. He's not just saying go out there and play basketball, you know?
Denzel's pretty unknown still at this point.
Storyboards for this.
He does look crazy in shape for this movie.
It looks awesome.
He worked out a lot.
He's undeniably one of the most attractive humans. I'm jealous. And he's talented.
Smart, funny.
Mostly seems nice from what I understand.
And he just gets on a rocket ship and never comes back to Earth after this.
Yeah, he doesn't.
You mean just like career-wise? He just takes off?
Yeah. Because it's Malcolm X and then Philadelphia and then...
Well, Virtuosity is also in there, so...
Yeah, was that...
That might be 92, 93.
Deja Vu's kind of a mixed bag.
He did The Preacher's Wife. That was like 93.
Yeah,
or 94.
but I think that goes to his ability to kind of diversify, right? Playing sort of a rom-com-y family movie that he did for a while. Like, now he's just in the absolute, that sounds cool, let me do it.
I think he was in the Coen brother one, Shakespeare one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Last, which I started and never finished.
Macbeth
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
for Apple.
When they stopped being brothers and decided to do
I
their
think-
own thing.
I think they're back now. I think they're coming back.
Yeah, they've to do a horror movie, I believe.
Yeah. Because, Dan, you sent me a photo of like a full heart, which makes sense because when they broke up, you sent me like a heart
Two
that had
halves.
been like ripped up.
It's been a rough
You're like, this is
5
me.
years.
All right, guys.
I think Joel has
We got to
one
get out
over
of this
next
basketball
week.
court.
Yeah. Be good if we could get 3 minutes into the movie here.
Specifically considering we had a conversation about how fast this episode needs to be.
We cut over to a bunch of fat yokels at a carnival. Did you guys clock that? Like the entire crowd is like big people.
All I could clock was that dude just jamming to that jazz.
Oh, yes.
Nick and his partner, Larry, they're walking through. They're, uniformed cops for the night, keeping the peace. But from the looks of it, should be a pretty easy job.
So, sorry, Kevin Pollak forces in a William Shatner impression in this exchange. Now, Kevin Pollak, I think believe he started in stand-up, known for impressions. Is this in the script and it worked out perfectly that they got Kevin Pollak, a guy who could do Shatner and Columbo? Or is this, hey, Russell, by the way, I do a killer Shatner and a killer Columbo? Because the written dialogue that leads up to the stuff doesn't feel that forced.
Mm-hmm. I could see some minor, kind of rewrites to lean in to his talents,
Right.
I think Mulcahy was probably knew he could do it.
Okay.
Maybe added it in. I was going to ask you, Bones, if you knew the episode they were talking about.
Of Star Trek?
Yeah.
No, I don't know the OG series as well as Next Generation.
Mulcahy might have been, I mean, I know this has Denzel, but at the time he wasn't as big as he is now. So Mulcahy might have been like, these are the guys I'm targeting for the movie. And like none of them are A-list people,
Yeah.
So he might have had a little bit more, ability to pick and choose as long as he stayed under budget.
Okay.
Suddenly we cut up to a building that overlooks the carnival. Some shady shit going on in here. A few guys open up a briefcase. It's got a bunch of money. They're talking about exchanging the money for the drugs or, some very typical setup.
Money talks, bullshit walks, I think is said by a Seinfeld connection by the guy, the little shop owner that won't take the check down.
Mm-hmm.
And wants little Jerry
To take a dive.
the fighting cock. Yeah.
I laughed at the guy. He's like, I got a pee-pee.
Yeah. Suddenly a madman, Earl Talbot Blake, this is John Lithgow, he just busts into this thing with a shotgun, starts laying waste to these guys. Down below, Nick suddenly gets a feeling that he might have heard something. As the carnival noise kind of dies down, he hears one last shot, which is Blake, completing his double cross. Because the other guy comes up and he's like, now we can proceed. And
Yeah.
Lithgow just shoots him in the gut. Looks at
Pretty
Larry.
Sweet shotgun action.
The squibs are pretty
Great
violent.
squibs. God
Yeah.
damn. When somebody gets it later in an alley and it looks fucking incredible.
Looks over at Larry. He says, "You cover the back." They snap into action. Larry finds Blake's getaway driver. I think this guy's name like Kim. He's kind of like important enough to this movie that you have to talk about him at some point, but
I think he has one of the best lines, but we'll get there.
It's coming up. Yes, to continue or to focus on him would add an hour to the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So Larry finds the getaway driver. He starts handling him. But this guy just like throws the car door into Larry, which causes him to kind of stumble and fire off a round. This alerts Blake that something's going on. Rather than go down the way he came, Blake just throws himself out of a second story window and lands in the carnival below. But when you know it, Nick is right there waiting for him. Says, "Don't you just hate it? Days like this? All I wanted was a slice of pizza." Blake cuts him off. He pops up, grabs his shotgun. But Nick already has his revolver drawn. He's like, "Don't even think about it. You got an Ithaca 37 12-gauge sawed-off shotgun with a 5-pound slide. By the time you pump it once, I'll have 3 rounds in your head." All of a sudden, this dumb lady just runs out of a porta potty.
God.
Kevin.
They could have staged this a little bit better.
Blake instantly snatches her up. So he's got the shotgun like to her jaw. Crowd starts freaking out. They're going crazy. Everybody's running around. Blake yells, "Now fuck off, or else her boyfriend is going to need a paper bag over her head when he fucks what's left of her." I love Lithgow. I mean, the dude is like a classically trained actor, and he is totally down to do shit like this.
Yeah. But from both of them, they understand the assignment of this movie.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the strongest things for this movie is everyone knows what movie they're in. There's no question. Like, they don't think this thing's getting an Oscar nom. But they're all just having fun, you know?
There's multiple times in this movie where it's a very serious situation and they're just going full dick joke. Like, it's like 3 or 4 times. Like, yeah. Good God.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I think it's to counter. It's like they're so aware of how bland and lame a lot of this dialogue, like the stereotypical stuff that would be in this type of movie. I feel like the only part of the movie that's like I kind of roll my eyes at is the talking to the jury scene later. It's like you could have trimmed that down to 30 seconds. We didn't need that. But
I don't even think he had to be an assistant DA. Could have just still been a cop.
Oh, I think it makes it better.
Yeah, but he does establish he's studying law.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's
like
true.
His ultimate goal was to get up to that level.
He read Moby Dick.
Mm-hmm. Nick says, "All right," takes off his belt, shows that he's not wearing a vest, gets all the way down to his boxers. This one guy at the carnival, he starts filming this whole exchange. Nick says, "All right, I'm putting my gun down. You let the girl go, I'll be your hostage." He does put his gun down. Blake throws this girl aside. When you know it, Nick spins around, pulls a gun out of his boxers, and fires around into Blake's knee.
Classic.
Oh! Fucking nobody can yell like Lithgow, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like painful, but like still classy. It doesn't make any sense.
I feel like he plays a lot to, I mean, it could just be that theater mentality, but his like facial expressions are so big and like wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's very loud in this movie.
Blake pops up. He's got a tactical switchblade. Starts closing the distance between him and Nick. But Nick's pretty quick. He pistol whips Blake. Larry shows up with the getaway driver. Whole thing's a successful bust. Cut over the DA. She's reviewing the videotape that this guy took with the police chief. Chief says, this dumb rookie should have waited for backup. DA says, listen, this is like the first good press your department has had. You should be thankful for this guy.
I'd like to have her tit in a vice grip.
Yeah. They all go down and talk to Nick in the locker room and congratulate him. DA says, that wasn't your issued gun. Where did you hide it? Nick holds up his jock strap and he's got a little compartment in the back for a tiny pistol. DA and Nick, they're kind of flirting back and forth.
She caught a peek of him because he's in the locker room in the buff.
I was going to say, did we see Denzel's other gun?
I think you'd have to pause and slow-mo, but...
You were only pausing on Lithgow, so we know that.
Well, he doesn't hang dong in the movie.
5.5 stars.
Does Lithgow hang dong in any movie?
None that I've seen, but the guy's got a pretty extensive filmography, so...
I thought you were going to say something else.
He's a pretty big dude. I mean, just based on size. Dee and Nick, they're flirting back and forth. She says, are you just going to stand behind that locker all day? He's like, I'm naked. He holds up his uniform. She says, hey, you didn't wear it for Blake. Leave it off for me. You and your partner, you're only in civvies from here on out. You're both getting promoted to detective.
9 months as a uniformed officer, and now they're detectives. Incredible.
He did this cool thing.
I know.
If I ever seen a cop strip down to his body, yeah, you gotta go, bro. You're off. You're off the force.
Saw a little clip before we started recording of this cop that he's walking towards his car, and apparently Acorn hits the police vehicle, and he does a barrel roll, and he's like, shots fired, and he takes his gun out and unloads it into the street. It's insane.
Is it body cam?
Yeah, it's his body cam. But there's nothing. It's wild. I'll send it to you if I can find it again.
I don't know. I don't want to laugh at it. I really try to back the blue.
Shut the fuck up. They're going to give us one of those COVID things.
If we say back the blue.
We've talked about QAnon and all kinds of shit, but it's dangerous territory.
All right, we see Blake in a prison hospital. He's already playing this all over in his head.
Didn't Bones make a Taco Bell thin blue line joke one time?
I don't know. I don't make jokes. I just make references.
He's watching the news coverage. There's a little old bookmobile guy that's pushing a cart around.
You ain't got nothing to live for, old young fella? He's got a positive outlook. Yeah.
I guess is he in a jail prison, or is he a jail hospital?
Yeah.
At this point? Okay.
And at first you think that, this is a fellow inmate who works in the library. And then it's revealed later that he's just a nice old dude who's got a book truck and comes around.
Mm-hmm.
So.
This guy, he is kind of like, hey, do you want something to read? Blake's like, get the hell away. But then he catches this guy. He's like, actually, give me something heavy. Guy ends up giving him War and Peace, and Blake says, yeah, this is good. Now give me that big Bible over there, too. This guy's like, you're already turning your life around. He takes both of these books and just like tapes them around his ankle as some kind of, I guess, like a weight. And then he throws his leg over the bed and just like snaps his leg back into place. His knee, I guess.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think.
Yeah, because he was shot in the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what this would do.
Maybe he pushed the bullet out of his kneecap.
Oh, it popped out.
Yeah. Whatever it is, it looks like it hurts a lot. So there's that. And then there's this funny little clip on the TV, like sometime later in the future of, Nick is on like a cop style show.
Oh, it's called Busted.
Yeah. He chases a dude down, and then it's like, Busted will return with more authentic police, followed by the Love Boat.
Yeah, it's got a RoboCop sort of vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. Cut over to Blake. He's arriving at a maximum security prison. This guard that's leading him through, he says, we got a present for you, Chowalski. They got tired of patching up all of his buddies over in C Block. Maybe you can teach him some manners. This is, of course, Jesse Ventura with a crazy head tattoo.
What's he say? I recognize you. You're the guy that got busted on America's Funniest Home Video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's later, but...
Okay.
Or that might be another guy, actually.
I thought it was him in this scene.
It's him,
and then
oh, yeah, you're right.
Lithgow's
It's my next note.
Okay.
Fuck off, cream pie, or some shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, we just covered that one. I'm going to skip that bit of dialogue. Chowalski lunges at Blake, but Blake gets him. He slams him up against the bars and starts kicking him in the nuts. Smashes his head right into a sink. Knocks this guy clean out. Blake looks up. He's like, I'm taking the top bunk. Throws all Chowalski's stuff on the ground. Starts throwing his books on the floor. And he does take down his Vince McMahon bodybuilding photo that's on the wall.
I did not catch that. That's fucking wild.
I think it's Vince.
It is.
He's looking big in that picture, too.
Buff as hell. He's roided out.
Mm-hmm. Cut over to Larry. He's giving Nick a ride home. They've both been promoted. Larry's moving up in the force, and Nick is now an assistant DA. He arrives home to his wife. It's the lady from earlier that we saw, and they have 2 kids. We get back over.
This isn't the only thing to help show the passage of time. They've now not put on Lithgow's little red crew cut wig that he has in the beginning of this. It looks it makes him look way crazy.
Yeah, his red hair is wild. I think they also give Nick a mustache, right? To show that some time has passed by. Back in the prison, there's a lot of commotion going down. One guy's yelling, we're going to settle this like Aryan warriors, hand to hand. This is the craziest scene of maybe the entire movie. It's Blake versus Chowalski. These guys are like taping phone books all over their bodies. And they've got some kind of like crude sword. I can't figure out what it's made out of, just a piece of metal they sharpened. They're fighting back and forth. Eventually, Blake is able to knock Chowalski's sword away. He's won. He's kind of looking back like, all right, this shit's over. But he sees that on Kowalski's chest is a headline of Nick being promoted to assistant DA. He just runs his sword right through Kowalski's heart. Kills him.
This was a recreation of the fight in Highlander.
It feels very Highlander-ish.
Yeah, there's almost some sound cues when those makeshift swords hit.
Yeah, and they got the camera, the tracking along the floor and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he recreated Highlander.
Yeah. All right. I'll be right back.
All right.
I mean, it does make you wonder what Jesse Ventura thinks of all this.
You know, I've noticed a particularly disturbing trend.
Of what?
How come a pretty consistent pattern picking movies featuring my murder?
I think you picked that pattern, Jesse Ventura.
Hey, you signed on.
You kept
For these
signing on.
But these are
movie
the
after
movies that
movie.
you're choosing to highlight.
What other ones did we have where you died?
I don't know my entire filmography. Why
Running
don't you get
Man.
on the IMDb and figure it out?
He dies in Running Man.
I was shut up.
It's rigged.
I wanted to fight with honor.
I think, is that
You guys
the
are
only
nothing
other movie?
but disrespectful to me.
He dies in Predator.
Was he in No Holds Barred too?
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
And I was looking mad fly.
I don't think he dies in that one, at least.
I don't think you died in that one.
Well, it killed my career for a short time.
Yeah, everybody.
Anybody a part of that?
Yeah, I think that thing was kind of toxic for everybody involved.
Why can't you pick a cool movie that I'm in?
That was the least sexual harassment things Vince McMahon got. That project was.
I've shed it for years.
I think the only movie I can think of where you're like the lead is it's like Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe or something.
Don't put this on me. I
think
believe you
you-
have a responsibility.
You're just kind of like a B character in every movie. I mean, you're there to die. You know?
Be
You were a wrestler.
the body,
I know.
bona fide.
You don't.
Oh.
You don't.
My
have to
arms
take your
were
shirt
bigger
off.
than Arnold's.
You don't.
I
have to
was a
take your
governor
shirt off.
before Arnold.
You?
Yeah,
Were you guys governor at the same time? Different states, of course.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you were up there in
Somebody was in
Minnesota.
high school and not really paying attention to politics.
It sounds like I don't. Are you
Sounds
all
like
right?
you need a better class of movie.
It sounds like you need to read your own Wikipedia.
Mhm. Or maybe you should have read the scripts for the movies you accepted.
How can I check Wikipedia? That requires infiltration of the grid.
How are you on this call right now?
I drive my van into town.
Okay.
And I pay a young boy.
How much?
Depends on how long I'm here chewing your ass. I know his arm's getting tired holding the phone into my face.
Come, you could hold your own phone.
You won't even
Mr.
hold the
Ventura.
phone?
I'm holding all these documents
What was your question?
because I also got to go to Kinko's after this and upload these.
Well, that's on the grid.
my
if you're
memoirs.
uploading.
My memoirs. It's different. It's coded.
Did you come up with the
Your
tattoo
memoir
on
is
the
coded.
head, or
Yes.
did you come up with the
Record-
tattoo on the head, or was that somebody else?
Full disclosure. Somebody had drawn that on a door, and I walked into the door.
Just rubbed off.
Yes. I happen to be freshly oiled.
Well, at least we know, I guess.
You've gotten a tattoo. You know how they put the trace paper over the deodorant.
Well, it looked pretty good, I guess.
I
for something
looked
you
fucking
just bumped
cool.
into.
And then I died.
Do you read the scripts?
I assume when they call, they need a
you think-
badass.
You think you were the main character on this thing?
Why wouldn't I be?
How many movies did you quit where you showed up and it was like a dramatic role? You're like, no, this isn't badass. I'm out.
I just assume. I mean, I thought I was the lead of Predator. I was the biggest. I had that big kick-ass gun.
Maybe we could just redo like all the box art and put your name, Jesse Ventura's Predator.
And give
like that
more
kind of-
profits that I won't, put it in somebody else's pocket.
You're probably getting some money when that thing streams.
What? Every few quarters when I come up to Western Union.
There's a lot of businesses that still exist in Minnesota that I didn't know existed.
You know how embarrassing it is to come up here, check your account, and it's coins?
They don't wire that to you. They give you actual quarters.
At the Western Union.
That's embarrassing, dude.
It's Western Union. Did it start out?
I may have
as
had a whole
just-
other thing prepared and you derailed me, but that's fine.
That's welcome to the show.
I know
Well,
you
what
get last week's episode is 3 weeks of content, so
What did you want to talk about?
He asks why we pick movies where he dies all the time.
That's all he does in movies.
I don't.
could you at least say that I'm good at it? Could you not be like, it's awesome that they got JV to come in here because nobody dies like JV? That'd be a little code of honor. It'd be something to put on my, would you, whatever.
You're good at dying. Did you put the picture of Vince McMahon up?
I was contractually obligated.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like he's had some writer in your contract
Guy's a
where he had
fucking
to
tyrant,
appear.
man.
That greedy fucking bastard, man. Wow.
Did he pay you in quarters?
Probably.
I bet he did.
Or steroids. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that.
He paid me in speedballs. That's right. That's why I ran into that door.
Oh wow. Well, he's
Are you still wrestling at this point? 91?
With myself.
with your demons.
It's the 90s, man. Inner turmoil was at its peak.
I think Ventura was out by then.
Ace Ventura? I think that's a few years later. Changed the course of 90s film, as far as I'm concerned.
Were you mad that you
Carrey.
didn't get cast in that because you were a Ventura?
Yeah, did you go out for Ace Ventura?
I very easily could have been, who's the football player that's in the beginning of it?
Dan Marino?
No, not that one. The one who he has to steal the dog back from. And he beats the shit out of his car.
Walter from The Big Lebowski?
No. I'm not good with names. I don't have the IMDb. All right? I'm not checking other people. I'm not getting on Greg's letterboxed reviews.
So in the
Okay.
movie Ace Ventura,
Yes.
you, Jesse Ventura, wanted to play a character who is not Ace Ventura.
I'm not a goddamn pet detective. But I
If
could
there
beat
was
the
any
hell out of a
movie-
car.
If there was any movie where you could have gone out for the main part,
You don't
That would have been the one.
you don't think there was a guy last name Jackson that was in Action Jackson? Rest
Well,
in
I
peace, Carl.
I bet somebody tried
The
out
only
for
one
it.
who was nice to me on Predator.
And don't bring that movie up. It might come back.
It's a 5-star banger.
know.
Odds are low. How the fuck is that not? You guys excited for Blank Check doing McTiernan?
Sure.
Oh,
Are you gonna?
I know
are
I'm
you gonna
doing that
magically
Kron
show
thing
up
where
on
you
that one?
shouldn't reference a better thing.
Yeah, that's a better show than.
A movie shouldn't reference a better film. And a
Like a
shitty
better,
podcast
just more
shouldn't
popular.
reference a better. Oh,
They're probably better.
When you can
It's not
hire
up for
people
debate there, buddy.
to do all your work. I mean, yeah, we're still grassroots. We do all our own work here.
You know, they started
You know?
doing Star Wars.
No,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
that was their first
that was
gig.
that.
it's a
It took
career
them a
killer.
few years to get off the ground, you know.
Yeah, because you don't ever start with fucking Star Wars.
We've already been in this a few years, Mr. Ventura, and we're losing ground.
I could have been in a Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have taken down the Emperor.
Did you try
do-
out for a Jabba or something?
Hey,
Oh, that's a low blow, Kron.
yeah.
Hey, down on the right, there's a little red button.
Yeah, see if you can get that kid to flip the phone around and punch that.
I get the hint.
You think he's gone?
I hope so. Always happy to
He's
have
never-
Jesse
he's
come
never
by,
fucking-
but
he's never fucking gone.
They said they want you to hit the button.
God damn it.
damn it, dude.
Why didn't you hit the button? Make it seem like I'm hanging up on them. No.
We can still see you.
Habla, push the button.
Let's make sure to send a roll of quarters out to Jesse Ventura. Cheer him up a little.
I need to send him a koozie.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's a funny guy though. I don't think he realizes that, but I always laugh when he comes on.
I was in portrait mode the whole time.
Oh shit!
Good thing he got me with on the compliment there.
All right, guys.
All right,
One
I'm
guy.
back. Where are you guys
Oh,
at now?
thank God.
Oh fucking hell!
Ventura couldn't
Thank God.
figure out. Yeah,
Ventura.
Ventura showed up.
I don't even know what his question was.
Did he help you get through the film? Like, did you progress through the story, or
No, not at all.
not at
He
all.
kept talking about that all he gets is quarters from the Western Union, and then some child he hired didn't know how to work his phone.
poor guy?
Going to Kinko's and shit. We did learn that he was contracted to put the picture of Vince McMahon up in the jail cell. So
It's
We
weird
can
that
add
he
that to
comes
IMDb.
around with you two since you're so mean to him. Like, you guys are so pro Dynamo, and I know that hurts his feelings. And
Well, you got a guy like Dynamo out there. He's going to steal the show. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, I wish he would come in.
who am I to say?
Talk to him.
Jesse made it pretty far in Running Man. He's like the last baddie, you know?
Running Man feels like 5 years ago.
That's longer than. Well, that's no. Blank Check's been going for 9 years. You guys excited for that McTiernan run?
Not really.
I'm excited for them to do Predator, I guess, but I haven't seen a ton of McTiernan
Yeah,
stuff.
I hope they get your favorite guest for Predator.
Oh, shit. Oh, that would be right up
That's
their alley.
right up
dude.
their alley, 100%.
All right, let's not delve into that.
No,
One guy.
That's
I was
going to
gonna
be
say, don't get him started.
yeah. DM Kron personally
Yeah.
if you want to know.
That's a joke for the three of us. One guy stops Blake after all this murder. He's like, dude, you got to try to make some friends in here. You're going to need them to survive. Blake says, I don't want to survive in here. I'm getting out. I can take you with me. These guys are cool with it. They shake. Back to court. Nick is giving his closing argument. He starts like running around the courtroom and shit, acting all goofy. But his closing argument is so good that I think these jurors probably don't even need to deliberate. The
other guy like closes his book.
Yeah, the other
lawyer.
attorney is like, "Oh, we're fucking cooked, dude."
Like, I don't ever want to hire that fucking guy. Like, you're out, dude? Really?
It was pretty funny.
I mean, it's funny, but I'd be pissed if I was.
He does he
him.
rips a page out of his notebook and crumples it and then just closes his suitcase.
And the cop's like, if he would have done that, he wouldn't have got that ticket.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we call 360 here on 5-Day Rentals.
Cut over to Blake back in jail. He's printing picture after picture of Nick's face. Kim is also in there, and he's like swapping fingerprints back and forth between a bunch of files. Nick goes back to his old stomping grounds to see Odessa. He walks through just a wasteland of like drugs and, burnouts and junkies and shit. Odessa comes around a corner, says, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Nick says, "Hey man, you know that new tower we're building? This is also kind of like a running plot point that Nick is trying to build like a recreational center for children." He says, "You know the tower we're building? Strictly off limits. You don't sell there. You don't recruit there. You don't even go there." All Odessa's goons, they start pulling out their guns.
How did Resurrection end?
The baby on the ledge.
On the roof, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this dude just loves.
Highlander has a final fight on the roof. Loves a rooftop. Rooftop Mulcahy.
Just loves some high points.
Kron, at this point in the movie, when Ice-T is now established as going to be a continuing character, my wife chuckled the entire time he was on screen. Just
at his presence.
Ice-T gave her so much joy. Every time he talked, there were multiple lines of dialogue that she made me like back up.
I have a note that says, I wish we could have got a little more Ice-T.
Ice-T is like her Lithgow.
Might be.
I know somebody else who loves Ice-T.
You got to get her into Law and Order SVU or whatever it is. Let's see.
Well, I mean, shit, he did like 17, 18 years of it. I don't think we'd ever get through it.
Start now.
The rate we watch shit.
All right, all these guys, they pull guns. But Nick, he takes out a grenade. He pulls the pin. He says, "I'm ready to die for what I believe in." What about you guys?
I mean, I've learned a lot from this 5-Day Rentals podcast, but I think I'm going to start carrying around a grenade, guys. It's got a lot of people out of a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's a failsafe. I mean, it's just smart,
I think so.
Why stop at just one? Why not a full Joker jacket full of
I get that caught in
a beaded curtain
or something? Yeah.
The
beaded curtain.
Yeah, the piece of yarn that you have would get stuck on any number of things.
I would think it was one of like from my shirt, like coming undone, and I'd like cut it short and be like, why? And then boom.
Yeah.
How strong is a grenade? Just one.
Like what's its blast radius?
Yeah, could it? It's not taking out your whole house. You know what I mean?
No. It's the shrapnel really that. Like there's the explosion, but it's really the shrapnel that kills people, right?
I mean, it's gonna wake my wife up, but I don't know.
Modern fragmentation grenades, such as the US M67 grenade, have a wounding radius of 15 meters. That's 49 feet for you, Dan. Half of that for older grenades.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
49 feet's pretty.
Yeah, it's substantial.
And that's radius.
It might hit some of my family, yes. Never mind.
That'd fuck up your basement.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't touch a room in Kron's house.
What's a mansion?
Yeah.
No,
What
it's
are you in
not.
Are you in the left wing or the right wing tonight?
I'm upstairs right now.
Oh, so the left.
Okay, so the third or seventh floor.
We have
Because
like
you
a
do
half.
have the two man caves.
We have like a half upstairs.
I remember the last time I stayed, he's like, "Oh, I've never even used this bathroom."
You've never stayed here. You've never seen this house.
Yeah, because the fucking butler let me in to stay the night when we were coming through Nashville, and he was like, "Oh, Master Kron can't be bothered right now."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Okay."
Yep. He's watching he's watching the dog show.
And I totally could have been bothered. I just did that for status.
I know. The microwave wouldn't work in the morning for the continental breakfast.
You left your fucking face print all over the window outside. I did not appreciate it.
You paused a lot. You must have been taking notes for the show.
How come I can still hear them?
Good God.
Jesus
I'm not-
Christ.
You didn't push the button. I'm not paying for that. That's like $20.
Mr. Ventura, do you have
That's
your
like-
AirPods in or something?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hit the red button that says leave.
It's
I'm
the
not
only
holding
button.
the phone.
It's the only button.
I'm not holding it. I
Just
dare not
grab
touch
the
this.
phone. Grab the phone.
Hold the button on the side and to turn it off. If it's an iPhone, I don't know if
Why
it's an
can't
iPhone.
you touch the phone?
They want you to. I dare not touch this child.
Why?
Have you seen me? You know how
Just
inappropriate.
grab the phone.
We've been seeing you all night.
They said they could see me all night.
We don't want to see you all.
Turn the phone. I'm a professional.
He's
How are you
worse than
paying?
Brian De Palma.
Are you paying that kid in quarters?
What else am I supposed to pay him in? That's all I got.
I can't wait until Vince McMahon comes on the show so we can. It's probably true. He probably
Okay,
does get paid in
I'm
quarters.
all right. I'm for real. I'm just gonna back away from the kid.
That's fine.
Right.
Do that.
Quit follow. Don't follow me. Stay.
No, the new
Stay.
thing follows you.
Stay.
We can still see you. He ran.
All right. Nick walks out. He meets up with Larry. He says, "No worries." Odessa agreed. Then he grabs a cigarette and lights it with this fucking grenade. It was just a lighter the whole time.
Cruel.
Were you flabbergasted, Dan?
You guys check your mailboxes here in a few days.
Fuck.
I want the grenade
Lighter
knife
grenades.
from Last Action Hero.
Oh no, mine's a real grenade.
It's a 5-star banger, Bones.
Can't wait for it on Blank Check.
I was gonna say it's coming up on Blank Check.
All right, the parole board is ready to see Blake.
Can you beep Blank Check every time we say it?
No. Not after last week.
Did we mention Blank Check last
No,
week?
I'm saying after editing last week's episode, I'm not.
Could we at least stop saying it now?
Does everybody need to get it out of their system?
I just brought it up a few times.
Yeah, sure. Go listen to Blank Check. Turn this podcast off and go start that one.
Blank Check, you're too scared to have us on. Yeah, see, now it's out there. I'm starting the buzz.
We couldn't keep up.
I don't think they could keep up with us,
That's
bro.
a different class of professionalism. It's like they are the Lithgow to our Jesse Ventura.
But they need us.
Yeah, everybody needs a Jesse to come in and die, you know?
Yeah, dude. Gotta have a victim.
All right, parole board's ready to see Blake. This one guy says, "Hey, I hope you remembered to floss." Lithgow says, "I did, with your wife's pubic hair."
Classic. Is this going to be your guys' reaction to your dentist whenever they tell you to floss more?
Yeah. You gotta put your dentist down.
So my dentist is one of those dudes that's got like family photos and shit in the lobby. His wife ain't got no fucking pubic hair, dude. Mm-mm.
That's in the family photo?
Yeah, for real. Jeez.
You know, you can tell.
Yeah, that's a proud family right there.
You can tell.
As Blake is leaving, we do see his wild vision board. It's all Nick everywhere.
Why would you... You want everybody that comes into your office to see your family?
I guess if the wife looks as good as what Bones
Yeah,
is
you'd
describing.
show it off, yeah.
No. Rapists still get their teeth fixed, you know? Like, murderers still have cavities.
Their address and fucking cell phone number aren't on the photos.
Dude, these days, anybody can find you.
It's just ones and zeros, man.
That's just weird.
That's why you got to stay off the fucking grid. Do your banking through Western Union.
Get paid in quarters.
Yep.
All right, this vision board, it's all Nick everywhere. There's even some like hustler centerfolds that Blake's put Nick's face onto.
How do the wardens not say, hey, maybe this is inappropriate?
You work in a prison long enough, man.
I mean, it's like, get some porno up, dude. Obviously, you're fucking psycho.
Well, he's got some up.
He's being creative and using his time, you know?
He's just put a man's head onto the bodies.
There's plenty of, like, vaginas and Denzel Washington's, like, right next to it.
Does this constitute a smut wall?
Yes.
Like, if he's getting off to it?
Blake is definitely cranked off to that wall before, dude.
This is probably the dirtiest smut wall we've seen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The most disturbed. At the parole hearing, they asked Blake, "What are you going to do if you get out of prison?" He says, "Well, probably go to your house and fuck your wife and daughter and maybe even your dog." Dan, what dog breed do you think this guy has?
Kron, you know, I can't answer that question. You're the expert, not me.
One of the ladies on the parole board, she's like, I'd like to hear from Mr. Blake himself, and if he thinks he would make a valuable contribution to society. And the other parole board guy's like, excellent question. Like, she's the first person to ask it in that particular way. Seems like
if you're on the parole board.
Yeah, it seems like question number one.
Well, the dude that he says it to is like, he's like, I'll probably stop by your house. And he's like, to thank me, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want criminals showing up to your house, bro?
Well, he's probably put, pictures of his
wife.
family up
Yeah.
in the office, and he's got his address and their cell phone numbers on there.
Mm-hmm.
See? Told you.
He goes to a stupid dentist. Got poorly inspired. God, I hope this doesn't ever get back to my dentist. This is why we don't use our real names.
Bones, I was listening to a little podcast the other evening.
Uh-huh.
Ever heard of 5-day renals?
Uh-huh.
And then it's just that movie, The Dentist, after that. That's all. It's the entire thing that happens.
Nope, you don't get the sucker thing.
What?
Yeah. Swallow your spit, idiot. This guy says, I don't think that's very funny.
Swallow those micro granules of enamel that I just fucking shredded off.
Now run your tongue across. Does it feel smooth or not?
Blake says, well, you're probably going to hate this then. He pulls out like a little zip gun, shoots this guy right in the head. And then all these other prisoners storm in. They're taking out guards with drills and saws and shit.
Yeah, because there's construction going on right outside.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
When they get that guy with a saw, it looks pretty wild.
It's awesome.
I guess screenings were more way more violent. And I guess they toned it down a lot. I was like, God damn it. Why?
What? Didn't we run into that with Resurrection? Where,
Yeah,
I mean, we were like
shit.
shocked at how violent it was. And wasn't there something about, didn't they cut that down? Because I remember us talking about like, if it had been 2 years later, it would have been a great, unrated DVD or something. So
maybe Mulcahy does that thing though, where he like overshoots and then the board is like, hey, you got to tone this down.
Yeah.
And then he just cuts it down to the movie he wanted anyway.
Smart.
Mm-hmm. Blake gets a gun. He says, last time I held a gun in this hand, a man took off all his clothes for me. And now it's your turn. Cut to like him and his guys. They're walking right out of the prison dressed like lawyers and guards. They're almost out, but wouldn't you know it, that old book guy from earlier runs up. He's like, hey, young fella, remember me? The books in the hospital. Blake just shoots this guy right in the gut.
He just could have been like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Just kept walking.
No, that guy recognized him.
Yeah, he's pretty easy to remember, that Lithgow. What if the guy was just like, did you finish War and Peace yet?
Yeah. What was your favorite Bible passage?
It took you twice as long because you have a glass eye.
It's like a milky eye.
Oh, it's supposed to be a glass eye.
But it's his magic eye.
Mm-hmm. All these goons, they pile into the bookmobile and take off. As they are, Blake reaches out his hand for the public defender, tells him, by the way, you're fired. Shoots this guy right in the head and steals his watch. Blake and the crew,
You got to
they
get
meet
to
up.
the meeting on time.
Mm-hmm.
Can't keep the Aryan Nation waiting.
Blake and the guys, they meet up with Kim. He's brought some clothes and whatnot for them to change into. The guy who helped Blake escape, he says, hey, you got to meet me on Friday, man. My buddy, he's going to get us some passports. He's going to get us some plane tickets. We're going to get out of here. Blake says, I got your passport right here. Grabs a shotgun out of the trunk and shoots this guy right in the head. Blake and Kim.
It's such good violence, man. I hate how much I love it.
There's a lot of it in this movie, too. I mean, they do not disappoint on having action in here. Blake and Kim put the body into the bookmobile. They light it on fire and push it off a cliff. Blake says this is a Viking funeral.
He shoots him in the knee, too, right? Because he's like, you never know when you'll get a really hardcore forensic scientist or autopsy or whatever.
See Nick coming out of court. The DA lady comes up and she's like, hey, do you remember Earl Talbot Blake? He broke out of prison, but he died in a car wreck like an hour later. We were able to run the prints on the body and they match Blake. Now, if you remember, Kim, he was switching all those prints earlier. Nick walks away, but some dirty bum outside is like begging for change. I thought it was Jesse Ventura at first, but just trying to get a quarter, you know?
He's no beggar.
Nick does give this guy $1.
He's earned those coins.
As he walks away, this bum takes off his ski mask. It's Blake. Over at a dinner for Nick, young waitress, she's very flirtatious. They're kind of going back and forth. What do you know it? Blake's on the other side. He's recording the entire thing. Jump over to a big fundraiser. Nick gets up to speak. Suddenly, Mrs. Stiles, she gets a call from the babysitter. Lights are out. The kids are scared. She's like, I did call the utility company. There's a knock at the door. It's the power guy. Oh shit, it's Blake again.
Trouble.
He's with the babysitter and the kids. These kids are pretty adorable. They keep calling him Mr. Power Man.
We're at the telethon already?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you been?
I thought there was something in between because she records the thing at the message or at the meeting where they're talking about the telethon, and then it jumps to the telethon that quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
What? She records like the... Well, Blake records the conversation.
Yeah.
Because he's going to use that later. And then, yeah, it's pretty much like right to the telethon / lights out.
Okay. It was 50% inquisitive, 50% like impressed that it moved that quick. It wasn't 100% accusatory.
These kids are asking him, is it really your birthday? Blake says yes. They give him a cupcake with a candle. Tell him to make a wish. He says ominously, I'm going to get my wish tonight. And guys, I think we should get our piss tonight. Take a pee break. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 5-Day Rentals podcast. We are watching Ricochet, starring John Lithgow first and Denzel Washington second.
Hello, how are you today? Yes, I'd like to make a withdrawal. Last name, Ventura.
Are you... Wait, you're just at the Western Union now?
Little light. Hello?
Why are you still on the call?
Jesus Christ, dude.
Excuse me for a second. What are you guys doing here?
The small child followed you to the Western Union?
Well, I have my AirPods in.
How much are you getting at the Western Union?
That's private business.
No, you say. How many quarters?
Excuse me, could you tell me how much is in the account? 27 cents. $27.
Wow. That's a good amount of quarters.
Could you give me an actual... No bills? Okay. Well...
They don't have bills.
It is
late.
It is late in the evening. Why is this place even open?
God bless you, ma'am. God bless you.
Yeah.
What do you guys want?
Is that a real Western
Hang
Union?
up
You hang up.
We are still in the middle of the episode.
Get out of my head.
Why don't you just... So you won't touch a phone, but you have AirPods in.
That's not touching a phone.
It's the same thing.
How am I supposed to listen to my motley crew?
Have you heard any of it the entire time? Or have you just been listening to this call?
I was trying to shave battery. I didn't realize you guys were still connected. So you can hear me but can't see me?
Yes.
Well, there was a shit ton of money in my account. By the way, I lied.
Why don't you take the pods out and put them back in the case for a little while?
All right, let me try that.
All right.
God damn it.
I hope he's off for good this time.
Sorry, folks. Sorry. It's just sometimes these special guests are a lot.
I hope you really put him in the case, you know?
They're in his pocket.
He can hear us still.
Oh, you don't think he put him in the case? You think he just put him loose in his pocket? Shit.
He's wearing tight pants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that big. Well, he's probably got a big coat on though.
Protecting him from that hot desert sun.
Well, I don't know where he is now. He kept saying he came up.
Where did he say that he lived?
Well, he's in Mexico.
I think he lives in Mexico or somewhere.
Right,
Yeah,
that's right. Even I don't know that.
All right, as the babysitter's getting up to put the kids in bed.
That's where we like. You know, you made it when you have a dude that like fucking categorizes everything. Like, okay, this is what happened in this episode, and they just send it to you, so you know all that shit. Oh, okay.
Babysitter gets up to put the kids in bed. Nick, while she's kind of leaning over, drops some powder into her drink. At the telethon, Nick gets a package. It's $10,000 cash.
I mean, we didn't use pickup lines, but we did use powder.
Speak for yourself, dude.
You guys remember?
I bet Nick's pretty happy that he didn't get $10,000 in quarters.
that'd have been a big box.
Mm-hmm. At the Stiles house, the babysitter and the kids, they're passed out on the couch. Blake is downstairs in the basement watching the telethon on a little travel TV.
He's laughing his ass off.
He's like mouthing the words as Nick says them. 7 years ago we met and it changed my life forever. Now I finally have a chance to pay you back. Blake goes upstairs. He picks up these nice kids, takes them to their beds. Nick and his wife get home. They wake the babysitter up and she's like, I can't remember putting these kids to bed. They kind of race upstairs, throw the door open.
I love this because it's like they both look at each other like this bitch and like just head upstairs. They don't even talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very like, oh, are you fucking kidding me?
There's an eye roll, but I think they also kind of get it that it's 2 a.m. and they just like woke her up. She's been asleep for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I put him to bed. I don't know.
They do go upstairs. They find these kids asleep
You don't
peacefully.
want the babysitter saying, I don't know. It's the last thing. All right, you just lost a 20.
Yeah. Do you tip a babysitter?
I pay babysitters very well.
Okay.
So it's like 60, 80 bucks.
What I know about babysitting
few
is just
hours.
like a search term. So I don't feel like there's ever money actually.
Well, I think the tip is just a different kind of situation, you know?
Depends on what you've been watching after 11 p.m.
Or hey, after 11 a.m., whenever you're in the mood.
If it's in the week, it's just the weekend.
I mean,
yeah.
you get
No,
home.
you're in the bathroom at work.
No. I'm watching UFC videos.
Well, you got your AirPods in, so nobody can hear what you're checking out.
I gotta play it out loud so people know it's not porn. I mean, it's kind of is porn, but
Nick's political buddy, who took the money from the fundraiser, he's outside the bank deposit. Kim pulls up. He's like, or he kind of turns the corner. He's like, hey, do you have a light? This guy's like, I don't have a light. I got business to do here. Quit fucking annoying me.
I think he says straight up, just like, fuck off, asshole. I got business here. Like, I get it. You don't want to be playing any games right by this fucking Dropbox.
Mm-hmm. And you got like, you know, all the fundraiser money in a bag. So
yeah, it's for the kids, man.
Blake pops up behind this guy, chloroforms him. I think we cut over to his house It's kind of hard to tell, but there's like a cleaning lady. She's taking a vacuum around.
Is it his office, maybe?
It's either his office or his, yeah. She turns around, though, and she sees him in drag hanging from a ceiling rafter. Next morning, Nick gets a call. He goes over to look at the body. Larry says, "This is just the beginning, man." Shows Nick a briefcase. It's full of, like, gay porn. And I think it's skewed to, like, the younger demographic.
Yeah, I mean, they say the term.
Yeah, I mean, they like accuse him of pedophilia later, but they can't show that in a movie either, you know? So, but he's got a bunch of gay porn either way. There's also a suicide note. Note says, "I can't forgive myself for what we did in Florida." Cut over to the DA office. They're grilling Nick. "You were the guy in Florida with Ferris." That's the name of this guy. They show Nick the morning paper. It's a picture of Ferris, Nick, and 2 young kids. Headline is "DA in child molestation ring." Nick gets home. He's walking to his car. He nearly gets run over. Blake steps out. Jesus Christ. Almost. Blake knocks him out. Kim says, that's funny. Yeah. Kim is like, "I bet he shit his pants. I can't wait to look."
That's the best line.
What? You want to see this guy shit his pants?
He wants to look to see if it's there, dude.
He's going to have to deal with it if it happened.
It's so perfect, man.
His first line, like when you see him at the beginning, is he gets out of the car and he's like, "Oh, you smell that? What a beautiful day." Like, it makes no fucking sense.
And somehow it works.
Yeah.
I wish we had more Kim.
Blake and Kim load Nick into a car. They take off. Nick wakes up across from Blake. He says, "You killed Ferris. You killed my life. So now we're even?" Not even close. Blake says, "Let's arm wrestle." It was a big deal in prison. These guys love to arm wrestle. They kind of put their hands together.
I mean, I saw them joust or sword fight, rather. I didn't see any arm wrestling. I would have loved to have seen another round of the phone book armor.
I think once you invent, like once you bring in gladiatorial combat to the death, it's really hard to go back to just arm wrestling.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it should have had a more impact than arm wrestling, I think.
But the arm wrestling sort of makes sense for what they want to do, because it's going to get his arm kind of pumped and a certain vein primed.
The main vein?
Always primed, baby.
Optimus Prime.
Whacking the shit out of that pinata got us all 6 to midnight pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to look at you guys in the face right now.
Blake says he's been following Nick's life. The arrests, the DA victories, his wife and children. He said, "We've meant so much to each other. And this is the first time we've ever touched." Nick, he's into it now. He just, puts all of his might into it, wins at arm wrestling. When you know it, Kim runs up, shoots Nick full of something. Blake says, "Now you're feeling good, but I'm going to make you feel even better." Cut over to the next morning. It's Nick's house. Larry is helping his Mrs. Stiles, try to piece together what's going on. He assures her, Nick didn't have very many enemies outside of Blake, but Blake died. It's not him. He says every cop in the city is going to be looking for Nick. Go back over. Blake has Nick propped up in a bed. There's like a prostitute at the other end of the room. She comes over.
And they are in an empty pool.
Yeah, they're like in a, looks like a rec center or something, like a gymnasium pool that's been drained.
Yeah.
Blake lays out some cash. This lady picks it up, puts it in her boot. She just undresses and gets on the bed with Nick.
She says, my favorite face that Lithgow makes the entire movie is she's like, for this S&M shit, it's going to be an extra $200. And they cut to Lithgow making this like pushed out lips, like a real like, okay, yeah, no problem. Like, he's reasonable,
Work it, honey.
Yeah.
This lady starts, having sex with Nick, and Blake films the entire thing. Eventually, after some time passes, he sits down next to Nick, gives him another shot of drugs. Nick says, just kill me already, man.
Denzel is so fucking good playing high, but like putting humor to it. Like the
Blakey.
Why'd you kill me, man? Why you fuck?
Yeah, when he passes out on the bed, he
yeah.
like slowly like leans over, and he's got drool coming out of his mouth and shit. Blake says, I am going to do something far worse. I'm going to let you live. Nick passes out again. Over at the courthouse the next morning, there's like a outside janitor kind of guy that's going around and waking up all the homeless people, telling them they got to leave. He's kind of shaking the regulars, telling them they got to go.
Knows them by names, almost.
Yeah.
Like,
he gets to the last guy. He's like, hey, buddy, you got to get out of here. Pulls back the blanket, and it's Nick. They get Nick over to a hospital. He's laying in a bed, and he's going on. He's like, I know it was Blake. He's not dead. He captured me. He wants revenge. Nick goes to leave the hospital. Press is already connecting the dots. They say, is this disappearance at all related to the death of Ferris? Nick says he kind of remembers where he was. It was a big empty pool. He drags everyone over to this gym. I think he's kind of pieced together like, some of the like layout of the building, or like there was
some tile art, like the two dolphins or something.
Yep.
He asks, what's his name? Larry.
Oh, yeah. He gives him that description. Like,
So it wasn't the logo like two dolphins?
Mm-hmm. So I think he's kind of pieced together, all right, this is the location where it all went down. But he kind of drags everyone over there. They bust into the building. Pool's full. It's a bunch of like elderly women doing water aerobics. Nick sits down on a bench. Says he changed it all back. He's making me look crazy. His wife says, well, he is doing a pretty good job.
I asked Sam, I was like, would you believe me in this scenario? And she was like, yeah, because it's so fucking crazy. Like, there's no ramp up. Like, there's no real conversation with the wife where anybody's like, has he been weird building up to this? Have you ever suspected? Like, you couldn't keep all of this shit secret, like how fast it happens.
Yeah, it's so wild that it's like there would have to be someone that knew. Yeah, he was, crazy for like the last 2 months or something.
Yeah. This is like a build up after you've seen a few signs that he's losing it. So it gave me a little bit of comfort that she, at least in the moment, was on my side.
Well, we'll see when it actually happens.
I like the performance here too, because you could see the drugs are still like affecting him even after he's normalized a little bit. So
Yeah, he's still coming down, from whatever they put him on.
Yeah, and I think the come down amplifies like his anger and stress later with the kids, and then him boozing it up makes sense. He's trying to take the edge off.
DA lady, she calls Nick at home. She says, "Hey, more bad news. Your blood test came back. Heroin and cocaine." Nick's like, "Yeah, that must be what they gave me." She says, "Well..."
yeah, he was telling him that shit.
Yeah.
So
She says, "It gets worse. Also found gonorrhea." She's like, "Did they give you that too?" That's right, Dan. It's the clap.
thank you. That's our fan base. They don't know what gonorrhea means. It's a clap.
Yeah, most of them have the clap and they just know it by that name.
Everybody's got it.
No, we all have HPV. We don't all have the clap.
Same thing.
They're very different.
Yeah. Gonorrhea doesn't give you throat cancer.
DA says, "Lucky for you, they shot you full of penicillin. We won't let this story leak out."
It's not.
Fuck.
You
I had to do it.
you poked the bear,
I
dude.
had to do it.
I'll tell you right now, I am a key speaker on this, Bones. You know that.
You're a key speaker on
I'm
gonorrhea.
a key speaker on
Throat
cancer of the throat.
throat cancer, right?
Oh, okay.
Hey,
No.
you've made the rounds recently enjoying some oysters.
Yeah, I'm not allergic. I'll say that.
Does that soothe your throat going down?
Yeah, well, not. Yeah.
I have to assume it's like swallowing a loogie, right?
You wanna spit it out, but you right now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, you did spit it back onto the shell.
Nothing works better than just a ice cold glass of milk.
Works better to do what? Coat your throat, get you turned on, put you to
make
sleep.
you feel better. Coat the throat. Yeah, I'm just saying, you guys need to be aware of unclean people. Okay?
That sounds like a fun date. A plate of oysters and a glass of milk.
I really found, a voice, kind of. I don't really have one. You speak out and speak up.
If you see something,
need-
say something.
People need help out there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, he did cigarettes." No, I didn't. I'd love to. I miss it so much.
You're a pretty famous smoker.
I miss it so much, Bones.
Yeah, but
me too.
that
buddy.
wasn't the thing that gave you the throat cancer, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need to be a voice for the voiceless.
How much pussy were you eating if you say pussy gave you throat cancer and not smoking? Because you were smoking a lot.
Some guys.
Every
girl wants
you
to
eating a
find
pack a
guy.
day?
Every girl wants to find a guy that does it for pleasure. Okay? That's all.
As opposed to doing it for business?
I never do anything.
This is my job,
Yeah,
damn it.
One could argue there's probably women out there that want a professional to do that.
Yeah, I'm just, somebody that really appreciates it and not just doing it as a chore,
I guess the perfect...
It's Valentine's Day. I guess I'll go to the Yellow Brick Road.
You drinking piss, Michael Douglas?
God damn it, Kron, you're an idiot. I'm talking about going down on your lady.
All right, I've never described it that way.
Yeah, you're happy you're following the Yellow Brick Road.
I mean, I've heard it referred to as the Wicked Witch of the South, but
Yeah, Southwest.
you ever get down there and there's like two little feet sticking out?
Huh? Elaborate.
Kron got it.
What are we doing?
No, can't happen.
Take that, blank check.
I'm on with the 3-day riddle, guys. Yeah.
I see her. She's teasing you with a glass of milk, buddy.
Put some clothes on. Day night. Yes, it's an entrapment. God damn it. No, they haven't covered it yet. Jesus. Anyway, if you see something, say something. Guys, if I can leave you with one thing, it'd be a voice for the voices. Okay, I gotta go.
Thank you, Michael.
I love you guys. You do a great job every week.
Michael Douglas, everybody.
Incredible.
What happened?
I think he got cancer from drinking piss. I think that's where I landed.
You guys talking about Douglas again?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
Dan, are you on your 5th beer?
It's Thursday night, baby. Cut loose.
I'm on my 6th.
Oh, okay.
All right. Unluckily for Nick, his wife has heard this entire call.
What beer are you on?
2.
Jesus Christ. Kron?
Can't be
I'm on-
sloshed and do Ventura.
I'm on 2.
I only had 2 last week, so I'm gotta make up.
I drink more when I don't do the plot.
Exactly.
I think I'm the
I'm
opposite.
enjoying
I think
myself
I'm the
tonight.
opposite, actually.
All right. Nick's wife heard the entire call. Nick says, "You gotta believe me. They gave me gonorrhea." She's like, "If that happened, I can think of a few inches that didn't put up much of a fight."
See, super serious things here, but we're still gonna make a dick joke.
Nick's drunk at home. He calls into some kind of...
There wouldn't have been any
Right?
But there wouldn't have been any art to it if she was like, "Well, your dick still got hard." Like that's. She at least had some pros with it. You know?
Yeah, but if that was the conversation you had with the lady,
Well-
you would be like, "I'm not really in that much trouble."
Well,
I
I would have countered with, "It was more than a few inches, honey." But
I think it's well written for how dumb the scenario is. I mean, for how outlandish it is.
yes, because at a
The
certain point, if dumb is done well, it's no longer dumb.
Yeah, it's like the dialogue is as good as you could expect from the plot that we're moving through. Nick's drunk at home. He calls into some kind of chat show, I guess, where they're discussing his downfall. He says it's all fucked up. He wants a new life. Can't anybody understand? Outside his house, Blake is in his car listening. He's like, "I understand. I get it." Nick wakes up. He sees a note on his VCR that says, "Play me." Pushes the video in. It's the video of Blake sneaking up to his kid's room. He holds a hatchet up to one of his daughters and the video cuts out. Nick's distraught. He runs upstairs. He sees the kids' beds are empty, but he does see a note that says, "Took the kids to the park." He starts freaking out even more. He grabs a gun, runs in his bathrobe down to the park.
Awesome, unnecessary, badass shot.
Pretty sweet.
He's running full steam.
It is so fucking cool. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Dude, he's got some great even whenever he's discovered as the bum on the when they discover when he lets him go.
Oh, that dolly
that-
shot going across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like the corner of the thing and it hits. You're like, God damn, that's pretty good.
Nixie, he gets over to the park. He sees his kids up on stage. There is a guy walking up to them, kind of the size of Blake. He runs up, tackles this guy, puts a gun right in his face. It's just some clown. Like a literal clown.
So he's still using the clown voice when he's like, "Don't shoot," and then takes his fucking nose off, but is still using.
He had to show that he was a real
he
human.
Still uses the voice.
I'm just a clown.
Like, did they do a take where he's like, "Hey, buddy, hold, oh shit," or
Maybe.
was this guy just such a pro? Like, he probably fought even taking the nose off. Like, nope, once I'm in clown, I am clown.
I bet they tried it.
I'm just a fucking clown.
They tried it straight the first time, and Mulcahy was like, no.
Nope, that's, not weird enough.
I don't know. I think the clown was like, this is my only shot with Denzel Washington. Like, nobody's ever going to believe me in life.
Yeah, you gotta pop in this movie, Bubbles. This is your only chance.
Candy Corn's going to clown it up here, baby.
Yep.
Nick goes to meet with the DA. It's a fucked up situation. Nick was full of drugs. His closest partner was found dead in drag with child porn. And now Nick has assaulted a clown in front of children, most of which were the sons and daughters of city council members. Nick is like, I know this looks bad, but I got the proof right here. He holds up the VHS tape. He pops it in to her TV, and it's the video of him banging that hooker that Blake took. They swapped the tapes.
And Kron, thank you for converting that and sending it to us this
Mhm.
week.
Yeah, I got the... There's a bonus feature on the DVD. Wouldn't you know it, Blake also spliced in the audio from that conversation earlier, and it's the most... like, this lady is grinding on him naked, and Nick is saying in the video, I'm the assistant DA. It's so good.
If you were in this situation, would you just be like, all right, I'm going to lean into this and then just tell the DA, like, good moves, though, right? Like,
Well, he is just kind of laying
that's
there.
a solid, hey, it still takes work to be a good bottom. All right.
Suddenly another guy walks into the office and he's like, turn on channel 6 right now. It's the same sex video. It's leaked out to the press.
Is this guy also in Seinfeld? Is he the artist that gets attacked or whatever, and then Elaine stops for jujubes before she goes and sees him?
I don't know.
I don't
Could be. Nick's all fucked up. He says this is Blake. He's stammering like,
Peter. Hi, Peter, man. Turn to channel 3.
he starts stammering on about like it's water in a pool, it's gone, and then it's not. He's just like, he's kind of off the deep end in this scene. Eventually he says, it is Blake. And this lady just cuts him off and she says, Blake's dead. He's leaving. Larry walks up to him. He almost punches Larry. He's like so worked up. But Larry says, I got something to show you. He got all of Blake's possessions from prison. He believes Nick. It's like all the fucking printouts that he took and, you know, all that kind of obsession shit that he had in the jail.
Looks like my JFK wall.
Mm-hmm. Larry also says, I got a tip that this guy at an Aryan bookstore is going to be providing passports and plane tickets to two guys. They're getting out of town tonight, and guess who it is? Cut over to Nick and Larry. They're at the Aryan bookstore. Nick is just beating the shit out of this fucking Nazi. This guy
As he
says,
should.
yeah, I mean, just if you find one, just kick the shit out of them.
Yes.
It's not a crime. You're allowed to do it. This guy says you can't do this. You're DA. Nick says they fired me this morning. I'm just a citizen.
It's a citizen's ass kicking.
Kron.
Suddenly,
Seinfeld clarification. He is in Seinfeld. The reason I was mixing it up with the Jujubes is he's in the junior mint. He is the former boyfriend that Elaine broke up with, and she went to go visit him because of his depression or whatever, but he had lost all the weight. So then she wanted to date him again. So he's in the junior mint.
He looked familiar, so. Door opens up. Kim is at the bookstore, but as soon as he sees Nick, he takes off running. Larry gives chase. Just as he catches up to him, Blake unloads several rounds into Larry.
The squibs look incredible, and Kevin Pollak is incredibly selling the force of those things blowing him back into the wall.
Nick runs up. Blake yells down, "Hey, catch!" He tosses his gun. Nick tries to fire back at Blake, but it's empty. Blake says, "Hey, thanks. Your prints are all over the smoking gun and not mine." Nick grabs Larry's gun. He turns and fires at Blake, but he's already left. Blake kind of yells back, "See you in court." Leaves. Larry collapses to the ground, and he gives one of the best lines in this movie.
God.
"Guess you were right about Blake. He's alive. How else could he have killed me?" That's good.
That's a extremely tough line to get out as well as Pollak does.
I feel like at this point they're just leaning so hard into how ludicrous the entire movie has gotten.
Yeah.
You know, having something like that, they're all aware of what they're doing.
And it weirdly takes the edge off of the fact that his best friend just died.
Yeah, the only guy that believes him.
Yeah, you're sort of like, oh no, and then okay. He went out with a laugh.
Nick runs off. Odessa gets a call. He's like, "What? Slow down. What are you talking about? This motherfucker's crazy." Nick gets home. He's grabbing a bunch of gear. Looks at his wife, and he says, "Get the kids some clothes. We're getting out of here." Nick takes his whole family over to Odessa. He says, "You're going to be safer with these guys than you are with the cops." Nick kisses his wife goodbye. Cut over to Blake at a titty bar. He's watching the TV. He wants to see Nick taken out in cuffs. Then the whole plan is complete.
It's 2 BBWs in a row.
Yeah. There's a big lady.
Well, to be fair, we got 3 last week. And this woman she's doing some cardio here.
Yeah, Lynch found 3 of this lady.
I don't know if we could get into this place, Dan.
We could definitely.
They've got little people bartenders.
It's on the bar.
Yep.
I think if you pay your $5, you can get into this place.
Fair enough.
He's just giving random ass. He's like, "Give me a whiskey," and he's like,
"Yeah,
it doesn't even have a label on it."
The bottles are on their belts, so they just kneel down and tip the. So I guess there's a whiskey person and maybe a vodka person,
a vodka guy. Yeah.
Is he more Russian looking, and the whiskey guy's got a Tennessee accent?
I think he had a little cowboy hat on and stuff.
It's Coyote Ugly, but the complete opposite of what you think.
Yeah.
Well, there's real nude ladies at this bar.
I said the complete opposite.
The news cuts in. Nick is on top of a building. He's deranged and ready to jump. Blake sees this and he is instantly pissed. This is not part of the plan. He rushes over to where Nick is. Odessa's guys spot him. They start radioing each other. He's here, spread the word. Nick's really putting it on up on this roof. He's smearing some lipstick all over his face.
God, that fucking face is so great. Like has Denzel ever been this weird? Like since this?
No. I think after this, he got into like big time movies.
Yeah.
He
I have a
shits,
persona, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the one where he's still willing to like, I'll do fucking whatever. Like, I'm trying to get my name out there. He's yelling down to the crowd, I stole from the fundraiser. I run a child pornography ring. I killed my best friend. Blake hates this. He's down below. He's looking up. This isn't right. You have to live. You have to suffer for years and years.
And he's standing right next to all of these people that presumably could have identified him. Like TV people, police. Who gives a shit?
Nick says it's over. He lights a flare. He throws it down into like the crack laboratory that's below him. So that whole thing starts to light up. Right at the last second, he jumps down this giant like fireproof slide just as the building explodes. So it looks like he killed himself.
Great aim.
No! No!
It's so good. The news is filming below. Blake doesn't care. He's so pissed off. You can't do this. You can't cheat the law. You can't cheat me. The guy signals Blake over. Says, Earl Talbot Blake? He's like, you don't know who I am. This guy says, the phone is for you. Odessa says, come to the tower if you want to see who's got the power. Blake arrives over at this tower. Kim is strapped up. They nabbed him earlier. Kim says, it's Nick, you idiot. His friends grabbed me and they tied me to this tower. You didn't kill his life. You just pissed him off and now you're fucked. Blake pulls a gun out and shoots Kim himself.
I think the way he speaks throughout the whole movie, while ridiculous, has a great payoff because when he's strapped up to this thing, he's using like a different inflection and it really amplifies how fucking annoyed he is. And he's like stuck with Blake like the entire scheme. Yeah. And then as soon as they
his fucking time. Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my, you're a fucking idiot. Like it's so fucking good. God damn it."
Suddenly we hear Nick's voice. He says, Blake, if this is how you treat your friends, I'm glad we're enemies. And it's kind of like ping-ponging all over the place. There's, Blake's trying to figure out where he is. Blake suddenly just runs into the structure. He's looking for Nick. Eventually he finds him. They start chasing each other around. Nick says, I got it all, man, thanks to you. They start climbing higher and higher. News reporters start to show up. Nick's up at the top. Blake pops up, grabs Nick's arm, like slams it down onto this fucking spike.
Oof.
Looks crazy.
Oh, yeah, because they arm wrestle again. And he's like, you want to arm wrestle again? And Blake kind of grabs his throat. And when he's like, oh, you're cheating again? And when he grabs that's when Blake slams his arm.
There's a good little part.
Go ahead, Kron.
Oh, there's just a good part, too, where it's like Nick gets up there first, and then as Blake climbs up, he kind of like grabs his arm to bring it up into the arm wrestling position. And he says it's deja vu. Like, we've done this shit already.
It brought back body parts for me. Yeah, so You want to arm wrestle?
Down below, Odessa and crew, they start running a bunch of electrical wire. They're hooking it up all over the base of the tower. Blake kind of gets the upper hand. He throws Nick over the side of this big spire they're on.
I will say also, Dan, to your point about a lot of great shots, fantastic editing in this sequence because you're getting really quick snippets of what Odessa's crew is doing, but you know what they're doing. They're very quickly running cable and hooking it up, and I can't stress how fast those inserts are, but it's just enough for you to kind of connect. Oh shit, and he's got insulated gloves, and it builds an anticipation that is so fucking cool. I think better than if it was just a complete surprise.
Yeah, they have the road blocked and shit, and let them in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the cop, two cops show up, and Odessa and a dude knock him out, and they're like, "We're with the assistant attorney's club. We're the assistant district attorney. Don't make me club your ass." I botched it, but it's fucking great in the moment. And I know that because I had to back it up several times so my wife could crack up at it.
Yeah, it is such a goofy line of he just repeats the same, 4 words over and over pretty much.
Yeah, but those dudes roll up so fast on them. Even I was like, oh shit. Because you don't see them on the sides. Just good shit.
Blake does throw Nick off of the tower they're on, but Nick is on a wire. Blake is one last step. He grabs his knife, starts cutting this rope. Nick yells down, "Odessa, do it now!" They turn this switch, shoots electricity all through this giant metal tower. Kind of snaps Blake out of what he's doing. He falls off and lands on this giant spike. He's dead.
Yes.
Everybody's back down below. Odessa's leaving. Nick looks over at him and says, "Hey, next Saturday, you and me on the pavement." Odessa nods in agreement. Pan over and see the news giving their update. Nick walks up. Reporter asks, "Hey, do you care to comment on all the events that just happened?" He says, "Yeah, is this news at 11? "Nah, I don't care to comment." Turns the camera off. The screen goes black. We hear her say, "Nick, you can't do that. We're live." "Live? Well then, Gail, kiss my ass." A bullet shoots through the screen. Ricochet.
Fuck yeah.
Credits roll. That's Ricochet from 1991, directed by Russell Mulcahy. Dan, hit me with that research.
Gentlemen, upon further research, Ricochet, 1991. Russell Mulcahy. Yeah. Released October 4th, 1991. I did not find a budget for this movie, but the box office was over $21 million. At the cinema that week, you could find The Super. You could also do the premiere of Ken Russell's Whore, which is currently streaming on Criterion.
The Super. Is that a Joe Pesci movie?
I don't think so. I think it's Keaton, maybe? I don't remember. And another little movie that came out called Suburban Commando.
Whoa.
John Lithgow almost never blinks during this movie. He wore a contact lens to give the impression that his character had a glass eye. Mary Ellen Trainor, she played the reporter of Gail Wallens, who she also played that same character in a little movie from 1988 called Die Hard. This was actually written to be in the Die Hard
cinematic universe.
Yes, they were kind of trying to get that going at
DHCU
at this point. So, but it never, amounted to anything. But yeah, that's the same character. I guess she was supposed to be like a link through all of them. So that's kind of a link to Die Hard.
I mean, if you're going to do it that way, where there's just one minor character.
Yeah.
And then everybody can just make whatever fucking movie they want.
Yeah. I mean, I knew her as a reporter from Die Hard, but didn't connect it that same name and literal same character. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be going on maybe at the same time as Die Hard, maybe. I'm not sure. They have a little bit more info on it if you go out there and look. But John Lithgow wore a brace on his knee to help ensure that his limp would be believable.
Guy's a pro.
Rutger Hauer was considered for the role of Blake.
No.
But of course that didn't happen.
Nobody but John Lithgow.
Original screenwriter was Fred Decker. Sorry. He wrote it kind of as a Dirty Harry movie. But it was deemed too grim by Clint Eastwood. Later, it would become involved with Joe Silver. It was intended to have Decker direct and Kurt Russell star, but that didn't happen. And that's all I got, gentlemen.
I think the Lithgow Denzel Washington duo is so perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if Kurt would have already had some hits at the time. I feel like he wouldn't have played it as big as Denzel was willing to go at that point in his career.
I feel like we've had more like research of Kurt Russell was maybe supposed to play this than like any other thing we've wrote.
He was probably
covered.
I imagine he was a guy that was just like, his name was thrown out for a ton of shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it always seems like every other movie we're like, yeah, Kurt Russell was supposed to be this guy.
Well, and I mean, it was Johnny Depp all through the late 2000s into the 2010s. Everybody wanted Johnny Depp, you know. I'm sure now it's like Timothy Chalamet or Austin Butler, you know.
Oh, they're going to battle. Here soon.
Elvis v. Wonka.
I would buy a ticket for that movie.
Well, Elvis will bring a gun and knows karate.
What the hell are you doing, Willy Wonka?
Wonka's got imagination and
army
an infinite fleet of Oompas.
Oompa Loompas.
All right, guys, that's Ricochet. I guess we should rate letterboxes and get to our final thoughts.
How are you doing, babe? Did you feed the dogs?
Are you back in Mexico already?
It's a weird day.
Mr. Ventura.
I can't even begin to describe. And by the way, slim pickings at the Western Union, so it's going to be beans again.
Why don't you move your account to a Mexico bank?
What?
Mr. Ventura?
You're still on the call, dude.
Hello?
You just put the AirPods loose in your pocket.
We're still here, dude.
You didn't hang up.
This is what I'm saying. It's been a weird day.
All you have to do is press one button.
Now, you said babe, but that's a husky or something, isn't it? That's not a
I'm slamming my hand trying to stop. Why don't they disconnect?
Just touch the phone. Just touch the goddamn phone.
How are you even connected if that kid is back in America? The range alone should have knocked you off the call.
He's got roaming. He's not going to be able to afford his next fucking cell phone bill.
All right, you guys ready to rate my letterbox?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Rate my box.
Take me up inside.
All right, y'all. Ricochet, 1991. As I said, this has always been on my list to watch. And whenever we decided to create this monster of 5-day rentals, Are we supposed to fucking guess now?
Yeah, you're supposed to guess bones.
One
and
every-
score.
one every-
What do I got?
It's one every category. Dan just jumps right into
Damn
it. All right.
I got
Dan, you locked Kron in at a 4.5. I locked him in at a 4.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for me, buddy?
I got you at a 4.5 as well.
I'm going to put you at a 3.5. Kron?
Dan 4. Bones. I'm gonna go 4.5 as well.
All right, y'all. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's fucking.
I locked the Zoom call, so he's out. Sorry.
Thank God. All right. Like I said, always was on my list, but knew it was coming to the show. We got some great performances here by Mr. Denzel Washington. Of course, this leads to Malcolm X in Philadelphia, his more dramatic side. Lithgow, honestly, you can't go wrong with anything that he is in, I think. Just very underrated. And I thank Kron for bringing him to the show so we can see the stuff that a lot of people don't see, I guess. Great action. We did say that it was edited down. I wish we could have got more of that. A great director here, I think, that we found. Really gives us some good content for the show. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It speeds by. You're entertained the whole time. This is a 4 for me, guys. I really enjoyed it. I mean, Lithgow being a psychopath and Denzel Washington being a psychopath, really. I mean, you can't go fucking wrong with that. So watch it if you get a chance. It's fucking good. It's fun. I liked it.
Thank you, Dan. If you're listening to this and this is one of the movies that you're choosing to skip and just listen to the episode, man, I am bummed. They don't make them like this. This is high production value, incredible effort for something that is just so fun and weird. And this is the type of stuff that I want to watch and enjoy. Real life sucks. Okay. And when like real crime and shit happens, it sucks. But if it's John Lithgow doing it to Denzel Washington, it's awesome. There's very little that I can nitpick about this movie. Even this, like, it's not like there's any threads that aren't sort of tied up. 4.5, man. Like, this is a weird movie to talk about because it's difficult to explain how weird it is and works. You know, I was thinking a lot of Greasy Strangler, where it's like that's such a hit or miss. Like I could see where people would love it or sort of hate it. This is kind of the same thing. You could probably watch this and go, that was crap and weird and it didn't make any sense. Or you're like Team Bones and Kron over here and now Team Dan. You're like, yeah, fucking pop this baby on. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It cooks. You know, it's so weird that your wife can't, like, she doesn't go upstairs and watch an episode of ER. That's solid, man. 4.5.
All right, guys. Ricochet. As you both noticed, I had logged this movie quite a while ago, and I had put it at a 3. I gotta say, I don't know what I was thinking when I logged that movie to rate it so low. It's hard to think of a movie that is like not only in the performance, but in the writing, the directing, in the full process, start to finish, of this movie being made. It's hard to think of a film whose goal is more, let's just have a fun time. The movie is like this weird kind of serious revenge thing, kind of akin to, oh shit, what's that movie that like Scorsese remade with
Cape Fear.
Cape Fear?
I saw.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Go ahead.
It definitely has like a Cape Fear vibe of, this criminal who's been obsessed and has this revenge kind of fantasy. There'd be a really easy way to make Ricochet a very dark and depressing movie, and no one involved in this wanted to do that. Denzel is giving it his all in a much weirder role than you'll probably ever see him do before or after this movie. And Lithgow, I mean, the dude is just a powerhouse of character actors. He can come into this thing. He will be, the most shitty, disgusting person, and you're going to have a blast watching him. From start to finish with this movie, I had a smile on my face that would make you think I was having sex. This movie was so much fun. 4.5 from me.
Wow. Good call, Dan.
All right, let's refresh this pivot table. Guys, Ricochet. This is going to be a high one, and the math is done correctly this week. This would have an average score from the three of us of 4.33. This would land at number 5 on the big list.
Yes.
This would be right under Unhinged and right above, hate to bring this guy up again, Running Man. 2 Jesse Venturas hanging out on the list together.
Don't.
I'm just saying.
Careful. Hell yeah. Dan, enjoy your point from Rate My Letterboxd, and I got a 0.5. I think you needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
I always do.
At the end of this, Bones, you're still in the lead, 9.5. I have an 8. Dan also an 8.
Okay. Guys, we cannot forget. We got to fuck, eat, kill. 4, two-hander. Dan, I know we gave you shit last week for your fucking David Lynch, Bonnie and Clyde nonsense, but that was a fun episode. Marathon. I think the movie and our guests justified it. Thank you, Greg. And Kron, right over the plate, buddy. This is exactly what old Bonesy wanted. I did, of course, kick us off with Shakedown. It was my category. Dan, I'm going to demand that you go first here with Fuck, Eat, Kill for two-handers.
All right. I'm fucking wild at heart because there's just all kinds of fucking in that movie. I'm eating Ricochet because I want that part of me. And I'm going to kill Shakedown, but Shakedown's still fucking good. So...
Kron, go ahead and take a 0.5 away from Dan.
Is fuck number 1? Is that how this works?
No,
I can never remember.
I think eat replaced marry.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's fuck, eat, kill.
All right.
Eat, kill.
If eat replace marry, but fuck is number 1?
Well, fuck just is first on the list. Like just how you say it, because you would say
all
fuck,
right.
marry, or I guess it is marry, fuck, kill. Eat, fuck, kill. I like fuck, eat, kill.
All right. I'm saying that eat is the most important number 1. and I am picking Ricochet as my eat. I think it's damn near a perfect movie. Fuck, I'm gonna go with Shakedown. A good fun time. Sam Elliott doing a lot of, having his own fun, goofy time in that movie. And I guess I gotta kill Wild at Heart. A lot of people will probably be mad about that, but fuck you. This is my podcast, not yours, so eat shit.
Well, and I have your back, Kron, as that is my exact selection. So we'll two-hand, beat off whoever comes after us.
We'll two-hand these two-handers.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to beat people off?
Well, if they come at me, yeah.
Well, if you beat them off, they're going to come.
Well, circle of life, dude.
Not how I beat
come
off.
You come at me, I'm beating you off, and that's that.
Dan, when you brought up Die Hard, I was like, Die Hard and Ricochet could make a pretty good double feature. But I think from this category alone, I think Shakedown and Ricochet could make a fun, cool. You're just over 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like the Wild at Heart episode.
It would take you longer to listen to the Wild at Heart episode than it would be to watch Shakedown and Ricochet.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dan. All right, Dan, get us out of here. That is it for Two-Handers. You will reveal the next category in the after showers. And a quick reminder, next week is Phantasm 5. We are closing up the box set. And just want to let everybody know now that there will be a gap in the box set. Okay? Don't freak out. It'll be back in the summer. But we've got something kick-ass in the works. So we're just gonna push it away. We're just gonna move the box just to the side.
Maybe there.
Okay?
Oh, do you think everyone's going to be asking what's in the box?
It's in the box.
I think people like the box sets. I think people will be excited to know what we select. Which is, I guess you could read as that we haven't selected it. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. Who knows?
Hey, get what's in the box trending out there,
Yeah.
5D Army.
What do you think? I don't know. I was thinking about McTiernan, but Blank Check's going to do that. So,
God damn it. Just... Folks, if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, or subscribe to the show. It helps us bring the show to more people. Helps us make weird countries' top lists. Ohio, I see you. Give us some reviews.
Yeah, you're a weird-ass country.
You can follow us on Letterboxd. You can follow us on Instagram and Threads.
there was a period in there, I think.
But if you really want to mess with us and fuck with us and get to know us, there is a link to the Discord on every episode that drops of 5-Day Rentals every Wednesday. So join that and join in on all the fun. And there's not much else to say, but I think he shit his pants, and I can't wait to check.
Crash and burn.
Don't run out of a porta potty if a guy's got a 12 gauge.
I always have to go back and tighten these up. I'm not doing that anymore.
I want to have a good
I'm
last line.
I'm not doing that anymore.
Welcome back, everybody, to the After Shower Show here on 5-Day Rentals. Oh, we just finished Two-Handers. Thank you, Bones, for the category. We did Shakedown.
How dull is
Wild
your
at
knife,
Heart.
man? I had to fucking hold that body up for 20 fucking minutes as you try to cut this rope. And it was all unbalanced because Kron beat the guy's leg off. Like it.
Can I just say I'm happy we got the showers in because the piñata was not full of candy. It was full of like blood and guts and shit.
It was not a piñata.
But you two
Kron.
shut the fuck up because you're admitting to shit we shouldn't be admitting to.
We didn't kill him.
Well, he's still here. All right.
Okay. And then when I shit him out tomorrow, he'll be gone.
Thank you. I'm
You're
glad you're going to do
welcome.
it. Glad
God
you're going to do
damn
your
it.
thing.
Who would have thought you could spray paint a full moon and it would have worked?
Well, I was going to say, I appreciate you eating the body, even though it's not, the wolf cycle, because it's just you with a knife and a fork.
Dude, plus I need some more teeth for my necklace. Like, it's almost done.
I don't want to hear any complaints about not buying pizza ever again.
I'll give you a week off.
I ate a 240-pound pinata. Piñata. Pizzone.
Thank you, Bones. Thank you, Bones. All right. Two-handers. We did Shakedown, Wild at Heart, Ricochet. Pretty good category.
Really tight, too, year-wise, right? Weren't we?
Yeah, what was Shakedown?
We did. It was 88, 90, 91.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Criterion Dan has left the building.
Thank Christ.
We have, I put you through a little bit.
You put us through the ringer, starring Johnny
I wouldn't
Knoxville.
say the ringer. I could do worse, but I think you need a break. So I thought long and hard. And this next category is called Teen Heartthrobs. And what it consists of is...
You were thinking long and hard about teen heartthrobs?
Teen Heartthrobs, yes, I was. What it consists of is any actor that is featured in a teeny bopper magazine. That could be male or female, whichever you prefer. They could go all the way back to the 1960s. Early 90s would probably be a good area to hit.
You trying to get me busted Googling teeny bopper magazine?
No, just
Male or female?
just type in Tiger Beat and you'll be all right.
Bones, don't worry. I put a bunch of them in your suitcase before we hit record tonight.
So this leaves you wide open for a lot of this. DiCaprio, fucking the Fonz, goes all the way back that far. Britney Spears, if you really want to get into it.
What movie's she in?
Crossroads?
Duh.
Okay.
Classic.
Color
But,
me embarrassed for not knowing that.
You should be. But I am going to take away Devin Sawa.
What?
That's going to preserve a lot of picks probably for this podcast and not help you guys out any much. And I'm going to add in, I'm going to sprinkle in John Travolta. And I'm going to bring in director Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit. Because, gentlemen, from 2019, it's The Fanatic. We're here. It's finally came. And, Kron would loves to say that I went highbrow. But I think during this, he's going to raise an eyebrow. Because what a movie.
Hey, I mean, when you swing the pendulum so far right, you got a hard left. I mean,
We're even now. Okay? You're welcome. Enjoy. It will be provided for you. I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
how is this not on streaming somewhere?
Yeah, that's what it was kind of
insane.
weird myself when I looked it up the other day.
It's on Amazon Prime, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah. According to Just Watch.
All right. Well, then, yeah, check it out on Amazon Prime if you can, but I'll provide you guys with a fine Blu-ray. So, anybody seen this?
Nah.
No, you've threatened it long enough that I just assumed we'd be doing it here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, keep rolling.
Remember when The Undertaker came out to that?
Suburban Commando.
Well,
Yeah, I guess it is on Prime, yeah.
okay. I got somebody in mind, I guess. I guess I just have to look up whether or not they were in a teeny bopper
Guys-
Tiger Beat magazine.
There's a lot of them, so... I mean, you could even go today, you know. I don't think you'll have any trouble.
Oh, I'm going to go down to my local newsstand.
No, don't
Finger
go by
through the Tiger
magazines,
Beat.
But
Oh, my God. What's Selena Gomez doing?
there you go.
Yeah, I can't wait for my internet service provider to see that I've watched The Fanatic and looked up Teen Magazine.
Stick to Letterboxd. You'll be all right. But there you go. We're doing a Fanatic with John Travolta. He's finally on the show. I don't think he's ever been on the show. Don't
No.
hold me to that. But yeah, 2019. Check it out.
He will be in the future when we cover Blowout.
Or Face Off. Yeah. We're talking about him earlier.
We're going to talk about him next week.
Oh, yeah. No, we're not, because we're going to do Phantasm 5.
You know what I mean.
The week after that.
Yeah. You're technically right. Fuck.
But there you guys go. I mean, I didn't pick the zone of interest, so...
Did you
a lot
call
of
it
people
the...
are upset.
Did you say the Pizzone of Interest?
That's my movie. That's what my autobiography's called.
Somebody threw that out at a marketing meeting, right?
Yeah. Pizza Hut tie-in.
Like, you guys know this guy Laundry Dan?
Mm-hmm.
Should make a movie about him. He kicked off his new shoes so he wouldn't shit all on them. What a guy.
All right.
The Fanatic next week or
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
The week
You
after
did it.
next.
You did
We're
it
doing
too.
Phantasm 5.
We'll get to it. Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn. I don't know why I have to be sexually attracted to some weird thing for this show to work.